Gosh, there's so many things that needs addressing right now. I don't even know where to start. We got to play hard. We got to figure out how to play hard. Every time I feel like that we don't know kind of all the things we're trying to do, so I go back and I try to say, do you know, understand this, and then we get to stand and we don't play hard. We've just got to. There's a lot of guys that need to learn how to play hard. How hard you have to play at this level to have a chance to win. And all the little things. So probably more than anything else, that's going to be our emphasis the next couple days.
Is that primarily the freshmen?
It's everybody across the board. I mean, we just, the older guys should know. They've been through it before, so they should kind of know what they're trying to do. But I would say probably it's the newer or younger players, yeah.
And that's, I presume in your experience, that's not terribly unusual?
I don't know if I had this many new players before, but yeah, it's they're kind of what they don't know. They need to be able to make up for with just maximum effort and hard work. And of course, maybe we'll know more about that in games. But right now today wasn't a real good day of practice.
Last year, you sort of identified focus sometimes being an issue, wavering in and out. Is that something you see carrying over? Yeah.
What changes have you seen, if any, in Richard Solomon?
He's maturing. I mean, he's certainly he should be one of the better big people in the conference. He's explosive and if he gets going a little bit, and you got to eliminate the silly fouls, the touch fouls that get him in trouble that way, and that's mainly a concentration issue or habits. And but he should have a real good year. He's mature. He's maturing just slowly but surely.
He said he concentrated on his post game and becoming stronger down there. Are you seeing that already?
Yeah, he's better. He sometimes makes what would be takes an easy play for him or a play that he should make and turns it into a harder play than it needs to be. But if he sticks with the basics, he's pretty effective down there.
Going into the season, you feel good about the depth that you have, how many guys you can call on theoretically?
I don't know. There's just a lot of, I think the freshmen, a lot of the new guys are going to have to learn on the fly. I don't know that we could put all new players in there and expect to be effective with new guys. I think we can use them kind of one or two with the veteran group, but they're going to have to kind of learn on the fly. They're going to have to learn in-game situations some of the things that we're trying to talk about that they need to do.
Richard said he's been kind of putting away I'm going to go on the wing and I'm going to shoot the three. Have you seen him?
He's stuck, yeah, he hasn't. He's been more around the basket, going the offensive glass, and he's been effective. The more we get him the ball in the paint, the better he's going to be, the harder he's going to work. Like any big guy, if you feed the big people, they're going to continue to work for you.
Given those two and Brooks on occasion are really your biggest, really the entire complement of size you have, how important is it for him to kind of stay with that and stay down low?
Well, that's where I think he's most effective. I mean, Christian's got some size, but his knee's still not 100%. Roger's undersized, obviously. Kreckler will probably have to play down there some. Powers but he's 6'7". So we've got some other people, but they're all different. In terms of having size, those are the only three that we have.
How is Kreckler physically? He had that foot all last year, but how is it now? Is he
He's
ready?
fine. He hasn't, I mean, it hasn't acted up. It doesn't hurt. So as far as he's concerned, it's a thing of the past.
Is your backup point guard Tyrone, or is it Sam Singer?
One of the two.
You expect to use them both in that role at times?
I do.
How's Sam coming along other than the free throws the other night?
He's doing fine. Sam is, still point guard's a hard position because you've got to learn what everybody's job is on the floor. You got to know where everybody's supposed to be. You got to think for others, and I don't think he's real comfortable with that aspect of his game right now.
He has a skill set that you
He can shoot the ball. He can go to the basket. He's got size. He can rebound from the guard position. He he's gonna have to learn how to keep a person in front of him defensively, man-to-man, because it's, you know, there's some quick guards in this league, and that's gonna be a little bit of a problem for him.
What, if any, strides is Wallace making since last year?
Tyrone is a good defensive player. He can shut a guy down. It's gonna be a little harder though without the physical part, you know, it's gonna be more difficult. He's a good rebounder from the guard position. He's good around the basket, and he's shooting the ball better. He's just a little streaky yet, and you know, we just got to get him more consistent with what's a good shot for him.
You've talked about.
I want to ask about David Kravish, if he's better able to bang with some of the bigger people that he'll be
He's 230.
encountering. Yeah, is that good?
He's all right. He's not gonna. He's not a shrinking violet. I mean, he's not a guy that's gonna get blown out of there size-wise. He's not. You know, he always could be stronger, but he's long, and physical play won't bother him like it might have 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And speaking of Kravish, you've obviously talked about wanting him to kind of be a little more assertive on the offensive end. Have you seen signs that he's kind of embracing that?
Not really. I think he's he's kind of a reluctant hero. He just doesn't want, you know, he's looking to pass it, and sometimes he rebounds the ball in the paint and looks to pass out rather than realize, hey, I'm 3 feet, 4 feet, 5 feet from the paint, and turn around and jump up and shoot it in. So I hopefully he'll get better at that and just get more comfortable with around the basket and what he can do.
Has his game along the baseline improved? Seems like he has a really nice little shot down there.
He has a nice jump hook. He has a nice facing 8-footer along the baseline. He's good at 17 facing from the elbows. He's got weapons. Just got to be comfortable using them.
What can we expect to see out of Jabari this year? How much refinement does he need?
Well, that's going to be, you know, everybody expects so much, and you feel for the kid a little bit because he's just a young pup that's got to figure it out like all the other freshmen. You know, how hard you have to play to get a rebound, and you know, he's got to learn to shoot it when he's open, and you know, pass it when he's not, and just get involved with the rest of what we're trying to do. We can get him shots if he'll, you know, figure out in the offense where he needs to be and how to get his feet set. He's a talented player, but there's going to be growing pains just like there are for all the freshmen.
We saw the zone defense a little bit last year. Is that a concept you're warming to, or maybe we can expect to see this year?
Well, young guys typically struggle with man because they get the heck screened out of them, but if they call the game the way they called it the other night, for example, I think you're going to see a lot more team zoning just because they can't afford the luxury of driving in and get called for, you know, fouls. I know early on we'll face some zones, so we're trying to, nothing else, you work on zone just to get ready to play against a zone, if nothing else, and that's part of what we're trying to do right now. We're trying to work on pressure as well, but I don't know how much pressure we're going to be able to do with our team.
And the concepts with the freshmen, I mean, obviously there are difficult concepts on the offensive end and the defensive end. Do you find that kind of getting them to absorb those things, is it easier on one end than the other?
No, not really. You know, everybody has a little bit different basketball IQ. You know, some guys just get basketball and it's easy for them. They understand all that stuff. Others not so much. And you always have a little bit of all of that with new players. Some kids are just talented and they're able to play, but when you get in a situation where kids are as talented as they are as big, they are as fast, they are as quick, maybe older kids are stronger, then they have to, it's interesting for them to figure out, wait a minute, I used to be able to get this shot whenever I wanted it, and they can't get that shot anymore. So that's going to be a little bit of what's going to happen as we move through.
Anything else for Coach?
How long will you wait to know if you're going to redshirt any of the freshmen?
I don't anticipate that right now, to be honest with you. We've different people. I mean, I think, you know, the obvious guy that would, just from the standpoint of just body, you'd look at Cameron and say, boy, he could really benefit. But at the same time, I think by the time we get into December, January, Cameron has to be able to help us. You know, so it may not translate into 20 minutes a game, but we need him to be able to help us right now. So that's not a luxury I think that we have with him. So I don't see anybody really yet that I would look at that and feel like that's the right way to go.